But rather than play a Facebook video, we asked the man, the myth, the legend to come by and give us his own personal testimony. Floor is yours.
That's it?
That's it.
You trust me to do that?
Yes, I do.
So I know that this is what you guys flew in from all over the country for, the main event. So no, my relationship with Dr. Stan started earlier this year. We are members of a networking group. And so we've quickly become business partners, referral partners, friends. I'm a client of his, he's a client of mine. I do financial planning for business owners. So there's been a lot of reciprocity in the relationship. But from the very beginning, I would go to this networking meeting every week, and every week people would say, "Oh man, Dr. Stan is the best. Epic is amazing. They're changing my life." And like by nature, I'm a cynic, you know? So I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And then next week it gets a little stronger, and next week it gets a little stronger. And so I just I waited, you know, maybe two and a half months before I ever even approached him and had a conversation. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, I hope to God that these people aren't full of it. Like, I hope that they're serious, because I need results like that in my life. And so a little bit about me, I know as you look up here, you see this Adonis before you. But, I was an athlete my whole life, played baseball my whole life. I caught for almost 10 years. Anyone that knows anything about baseball will tell you being a catcher sucks. I mean, it just wrecks your body. On top of that, I played defensive tackle, which also sucks and wrecks your body. And then after I went to college and stopped playing sports, I developed an affinity for beer and barbecue, and now I have 2 kids and a sedentary financial planning job. And so as a result, I've just lost a lot of mobility. I've gained weight, 43 years old. And so I just really started to have a lot of problems. And what would happen is I would have one problem, and the solution to that one problem, or what I thought was the solution to it, would create another problem. And so, for instance, what I mean by that is I had really, really bad sciatica that I probably developed, 12, 13 years ago, and it would progressively get worse and worse and worse. So the solution to that, for me, in my mind, was, well, man, it really hurts when I lay flat. So I'm not going to sleep in a bed anymore, I'm going to sleep in a recliner. And so then I slept in a recliner or a chair with an ottoman or whatever it may be for probably the next decade. And then from a result of that, I started having issues with my hip, my back, kyphosis, really unable to stand up straight, which I'm still working through. The loss of mobility had gotten so bad, I mean, I just, that's it on the left, that's it on the right, that's as up as it goes in my neck. And so I finally decided that I need to take this seriously, and I need to start trying to find treatment somehow. And I sent you that thing the other day, I think it was almost 7 years to the day, I went to a chiropractor for the first time ever. Chiropractor here locally in Tampa. And I went to that chiropractor on purpose because she was the team chiropractor for the arena football team in Tampa. And so she was really used to working with big guys. And I was like, well, if she can have results with them, she can have results with me. And so I went there on purpose, and lo and behold, the day that I got there, I found out that she had had a major, major heart issue and was out of work for 8 months. Cool. And so I ended up working with another doctor there, and he said, all right, we got to get some x-rays done. And I said, okay. And we do x-rays, come back, he goes, your back, and I was complaining of lower back pain, hip issues, all that stuff. He said, the back doesn't look that bad, but did you ever have like a neck injury in your life? And I said, no. He said, well, there's just so much compression at the base of your neck, and you know that you can't look this way and that, and just a lot of neck issues there. And I'm like, okay. And so we started treatment, and 2 things happened. Number 1, he never treated my neck. It was the strangest thing to me. He's like, yeah, you got a lot of issues at the base of your neck, get on that drop table. I'm like, okay. And I just went along with it because I don't know. The other issue is he was trying to manually manipulate me, and he couldn't. I mean, we were on the floor, he's on top of me. It looked like a Greco-Roman wrestling match. And what ended up happening was that feeling probably better than I do. That feeling when it's about to pop, but it doesn't. And so it's like this buildup of pressure. Yeah, like that. Except not with that part. It's like this buildup of pressure. And so I would walk in like, oh man, I'm sore. I would walk out like, oh my God, I'm in pain. Like, it was worse. Because he would get me to a point where it was about to go, but it just never would. And so, as a result of that, after about a month of that, what do you think I did? Stop going, right? Like, that didn't work. So about a year later, I'm coaching my son's Little League team, and I'm throwing, and something happens with my shoulder. And I just get this pain in my shoulder where I can't even lift my arm up off my body. And so I said, I need to go see someone. So I went to go see an orthopedic. Orthopedic says, hey, you tore your rotator cuff. Minor tear. If you were a Major League Baseball player, I would tell you go have surgery, but you're not. Like, I think it'll heal on its own, but I'd like to get you in physical therapy. Like, okay. So I go to physical therapy for my shoulder. Physical therapist says, well, your neck has some serious issues, like lack of mobility. I'm like, yeah, I've heard this before. This is crazy. And so the answer was, all right, well, get on that foam roller. And like, it was just all these weird things, like lay down on your back and take a strap and put it around your foot and pull your leg up. And I just kept thinking to myself, everyone says I have neck problems, but no one ever tries to fix them. Like, why do they keep telling me my neck is messed up, but then they keep working on my back? And so I just wanted to see results, and again, I didn't. Did that for about a month. What do you think I did after that? Quit. And so this has kind of been my life of trying to find relief from these symptoms that have, quite honestly, impaired my quality of life. 43 years old. Why am I sleeping in a recliner? Like, why can't I stand up straight? All of those things. And the other thing that would happen is anytime I would talk to a medical doctor about it, the answer was, hey, you just gotta lose weight, man. You're really overweight. The weight's pulling down on your spine. That's what's compressing your neck. And if you just lost the weight, everything would solve itself. Well, that's not true, because in 2009, I lost 112 pounds and I felt like crap. So that certainly wasn't the case either. So long story short, when I finally broke down and I talked to Dr. Stan, the first thing he told me, I'll never forget, he goes, I've been waiting for you to come talk to me. I was like, I don't know how to take that. I said, like, it gets creepier. I said, why? And he says, I've been watching you. He meant it in the best possible way. And so he told me to come in, and we set up an appointment, and he said, just tell me everything. And I just had verbal diarrhea for about an hour. And I was like, kyphosis and pinched nerve and sciatica and leg length discrepancy. I didn't even mention that one. I mean, leg length discrepancy that has gotten horrible over the years, to the point where I was walking with a noticeable limp. I was standing like this, like a kickstand. Never noticed it when I was younger. And then when I had x-rays done on my rotator cuff, the x-ray tech said, why are your shoulders so slanted? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I had no idea, And so that continued to get worse. And I've since found pictures of myself in college where I'm doing it even in pictures when I was 20 years old. But it was slight, so I never noticed it, and it progressively had gotten worse. So we started treatment. He had me, close my eyes and march in place, and I ended up halfway across the room. I almost walked out a window. That freaked me out. Lay down, turn my head. He's like, you got any loss of strength? No, strong as a bull, man. Turn your head to the right. Whoa! How'd you do that? Do that again, So we went through all of that, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that, man, there's really a problem. And this guy, you don't like me to talk about the guy, this technique really seems to understand what that problem is. And so at the end of the day, I just wanted to start going through the treatment. Here's my treatment. First time I had a treatment done, the very next day, I got a flat tire. And I had to change a tire on my truck on the side of the road. And as I'm doing it, I'm listening to Dr. Stan's voice in my head going, hey man, no exercise, don't lift anything too heavy. I wonder if this 20-inch truck wheel counts. Because either I listen to him or I get back on the road and can actually drive. And so I came to him the next day after I changed the tire. And I said, hey, I had to change a tire. He's like, well, you got to do what you got to do. And so checked it. Sure enough, I was out of alignment, like very next day. So it was a little bit discouraging, but I wasn't going to give up on it after one day. I gave all those other kooks a month, so. So, treated again, gave this kook longer than that. Treated again, he put that stupid neck brace on me that I can't stand. Held for about 3 weeks. And so during that time, I'm sitting at home, and all these things are better. Like the sciatica, gone. Pinched nerve, gone. Actually laid in bed and slept flat in bed for a little while. Never really made it through a night, but I would make it through 3-4 hours. I could never do that before. All the things that I thought would be better from a chiropractic treatment were seemingly getting better, and I was excited about it. Here's the part that freaked me out. Other things got better that I'm like, well, that can't be related. Like, there's no way that's connected. And so one of them is I had horrible sinus issues to the point where my spot in the living room, there's a box of tissues on either side. And at night, I would get really, really congested. And so, my wife said to me one day, I don't remember you like blowing your nose in a while. Like, what's going on with your sinuses? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't blown my nose in a while. I haven't sneezed. I haven't been congested. It's so weird. And so I'm thinking about telling Dr. Stan about it. I'm like, that's going to sound so stupid. That can't be connected, And so as I started to think about it, I came to the realization that, well, wait a minute. Every time I got congested, it's always on the right side. There was always this sinus that got congested. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's not as stupid as I think. I'm going to tell him. Just stone face. He's like, oh, yeah, I can see that. Nothing throws him, One day I'm going to be like, hey, I won the lottery last night, and I'm pretty sure it's from my treatment. So that was one of the things that threw me. I think the thing that kind of freaked me out the most, I held for about 3 weeks, I told you guys that, came out of alignment. The really cool part for me was I knew when I came out of alignment. I was like, whoa. Like I tell people now, I never knew what it felt like to feel bad until I felt good. And then when I felt good, it was like, ooh, this doesn't feel right. And the weird part is, that was my old normal. Like, that's the state that I lived in. And so what I finally decided was, I was like, you know what? I need to get back in and get back in alignment. But life got in the way. Kids, work, coaching baseball, just craziness. Everything got in the way. And so I was out of alignment for about 3 weeks. And this totally freaked me out. Today, since April 6th, please don't clap, by the way. I'm being serious, don't clap. I'm down 67 pounds since April 6th. Like, really trying to make my health and wellness a priority. Largely in part to the differences that we've been able to make together. And so, the 3 weeks that I was out of alignment, really probably 3.5 weeks, almost a month, I lost about 4 pounds. And I was cranking at about 2 pounds a week. That was pretty much my clip every week. And all of a sudden, I'm out of alignment, I'm not losing any weight. And I wasn't discouraged because I'm in it for the long haul this time. Like, this is it, so no big deal. It's not a race anymore like it used to be. But I told Dr. Stan that. I said, my weight loss has slowed down. He's like, oh, yeah. Metabolism, it's a system of the body. Everyone says the body's all these individual parts. It's really a brain sending messages down a spinal cord. When those messages aren't received clearly, then I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, And so it really was, I was like, so you're telling me that being out of alignment could have affected my ability to lose weight? Like, how crazy is that? I've got an excuse for being fat my whole life. I've just been out of alignment. I didn't know. So, lo and behold, go back in alignment, lost 5 pounds in 6 days. Like that. And I'm like, whoa. And I called him. I was like, hey, dude, dropped 5 pounds in less than a week. He's like, yeah. Nothing shocks me. Or I'll get this response. That's so cool. So, what I would tell you is, got back in alignment, weight loss got back to where it was again. Got in the truck about 2 weeks ago, same truck that had that flat tire, damn it. Getting in the truck, don't get all the way in, and I'm getting in too quickly, and pop, hit my head right on the door. And I was like, I hope I didn't knock myself out of alignment. Whatever, we'll just keep going on. Another week goes by, start feeling progressively worse. I know I'm out of alignment, but I just don't want to admit it. And so finally it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, I guess I should probably go in and get this checked out. Go in, Dr. Stan, yep, you're out of alignment. Yeah, shocking. Started thinking about it. That whole week I was out of alignment. No weight loss. This is a week ago. almost a week ago, not quite a week ago. Got on the scale this morning. Since getting back in alignment, dropped 5 more pounds. It is the craziest thing. So this is not only like changing,
So cool.
yeah. So this is not only changing my quality of life, but what a weight loss program, man. I just want to come in and get treated like 3 times a week. Drop 15 pounds a week. My ear.
We went to lunch. All of a sudden, your ear was...
Oh, yeah. Wow, yeah. Yeah, my ear had been, like, clogged and then, like, opened as I'm having lunch with him. So, of course, I had to tell him. Oh, that was weird. My ear had been clogged and it just released. It was right after a treatment. It's probably about an hour after a treatment. What do you think he said? Then he bought me lunch, though, so that was cool. The other really, really cool part of this for me, and then I'll wrap up because I know you guys aren't here. You're here to hear all that technical stuff that I don't know. The other really cool part for me was one time during this process, and I've been getting treated now for, I don't know, 2.5, 3 months, somewhere in that range. And one time I went in there and I said, you know, I don't think I'm out of alignment, but I don't feel great. Actually, no, I take it back. Let me take that back. I never told him. In my mind, I'm like, I don't think I'm out of alignment, but I don't really feel great. And I purposely never said anything. And so I went in and he's like, oh, okay. And he goes, you know, you're in alignment, but I want to explain something to you. And I never said a word. And I said, what's that? He goes, well, you're going to have these biorhythms, you know? And as you start going through this treatment, you're going to have times where you start to feel a little bit better. And then, oh, you start to feel a little bit worse. And then the better gets better, and then the worse is not so bad. And then the better gets even better. And it's this upward, you know, sort of staircase. He said, when you're out of alignment, it goes the opposite. The bad feelings get worse. The good feelings not as good as they were last time. He said, so you're going to have some times during this process when you don't feel great, but it doesn't mean that you're necessarily out of alignment. I'm like, best thing he could have told me. Because I told him, I said, you know, this is how I've been feeling. I literally thought all week that I don't think I'm out of alignment, but I don't really feel well. And when I went in, it was awesome to hear, and this is just the cynic in me, and I love this man, but the cynic in me, it was awesome to hear. Even though you think you might be out of alignment, you're not. Because you want to believe that there's science behind it, and what's happening is not, you know, what Brian said, a placebo effect, like it's none of that. Like, I know that what's happening is really working and really making a difference in my life, but nothing solidified that for me in my own brain more than him saying, you think you're out of alignment, but you're not. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And he didn't even know that. I've never even told him that, by the way, until just now. So the last thing that I would tell you guys is this. This is continuing to make a tremendous difference in my life. From the standpoint that I'm standing up straighter, my energy levels are through the roof. When I'm in alignment, my metabolism works well, the weight's coming off quicker. No more, I don't remember the last time I had pinched nerve pain. Definitely don't remember the last time I had sciatica pain. None of that stuff is bothering me anymore, but all of the other stuff that I never expected to improve from this, sinus issues, weight loss, etc. This is not pain relief for me, this is salvation, genuinely. And that's not hyperbole, I mean that. And so I want to thank all of you guys as well, and obviously you, and all of this, the movement, as I've heard Dr. Stan refer to it as, because at the end of the day, whether you're a doctor or you're a student, whatever the case may be, you are genuinely changing people's lives. And I went through a bevy of doctors that told me, yeah, something's wrong with your neck. But that's not what I do, so let's get back over here. And at the end of the day, it's nice to actually figure out what the problem is and be able to feel real results in that area. So that is my testimonial.
That was awesome.
I love you, man.
I love you.
Hey, one other thing. 5 months ago, I would have been in that stool for that entire presentation. I just stood for that whole thing. I couldn't have done that 5 months ago.